This is Year 13, AS2 Physics 2, and this is the past paper solutions to waves from 2004 to 2009. This is question 1, June 2005, from AS Old Module 2, and the first question says, explain what is meant by the term plane polarised wave. I'll just make this a little bit bigger so that you can see it a bit more clearly. Alright, so explain what is meant by the term a plane polarised wave. Now you know that that is a wave where the vibrations are only allowed to vibrate in one plane, and they're very specific about you saying the word plane, not to use the word direction. So the answer from the mark scheme is where the vibrations, or you could use the word oscillations, are confined to one plane. Now this is a definition which comes up and a question which comes up very, very often. It's definitely worthwhile learning that. They're not that happy with you saying along one plane, they want confined to one plane. So learn that. A number of examples of waves are listed below. Place a tick in the box opposite each of the waves that can be plane polarised. So the first one are waves from a loudspeaker, and they are of course sound waves. So sound waves are longitudinal, and longitudinal waves can't be polarised. Second one is waves on a string, and they are of course transverse and can be polarised. Third one is waves from a light bulb. So those are light waves, which are EM waves, which are transverse, and so they can be polarised. And then the last one are waves from a tuning fork, which is of course again sound again. Now you can see there's 2 marks, and so that gives you an indication usually that there are going to be 2 ticks in that answer. And then it says select one example from the list of waves in B and describe how it could be plane polarised. So the most obvious example to choose there is light from a light bulb. And to polarise, to describe how it could be plane polarised, if you hold a piece of Polaroid in front of it. You could also do this with waves on a string, and in that case you would have to use something like a slit or a slot or something. Use a slit or a slot to show that the waves, only waves in a certain plane can pass through. Describe how you would demonstrate that the waves you selected in C part 1 had been plane polarised. So I'm going to go back to the light again because it would be quite difficult to maybe explain that using the string. And so using light again, if you use the first piece of Polaroid, so you've used one piece of Polaroid. Now, whenever you look through that piece of Polaroid, you should see much less light passing through it. And that's because it has been restricted to one plane. But really, to prove this, then you must hold a second piece of Polaroid between the first and your eye. Now, if you hold it a certain way, you should still be able to see some light, but if you rotate it by 90 degrees, then all light should be blocked. And so that means that you are now observing nothing, and that means that the first piece of Polaroid had plane polarised the light in the first place. So to get 3 marks there, they were looking for you to say that there's a second piece of Polaroid, that you're holding it between the first and your eye, and then what do you observe? that there should be no light transmitted through it. And they would want that all, I haven't written it in sentences because I haven't got much room here, but they would want that all written in sentences, proper sentences, and they would be giving you some marks for your quality of written communication.